how the heck I want to buy an investment property.
Right.
What are my options? What do I do?
Well, I think there's more options now than there ever was, especially since the crash. It was like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac did not want to lend on investment properties. Made it very difficult. But they just recently in July, they changed their selling guide to loosen up the requirements for an investment property. And the definition of an investment property, every house is an investment. The definition of an investment property is something you're going to solely use to receive rental income. You're not going to be living in the property. For anyone, a lot of millennials, which I'm getting a ton of questions, that's why I wanted to bring this up today, are actually listening to their parents. They're buying an owner-occupied 3-unit, 4-unit.
Oh, yeah, smart.
And the requirements are not as, if you're going to be living in the property, the down payment requirements are the same as if it's a single family. It's 3.5% down.
100%.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about an investment property solely for, rental income. And in many cases, you're bringing 25% down. We've looked, especially in Rhode Island, we've looked for 80%, we've looked for 85%. It just doesn't exist. Now, Fannie Mae, as of July 26, I believe, a single family, which there's not a big demand for single family investment properties because you don't get a big return on your investment. They're going up to 85%. So someone's giving PMI for that. Usually, there's no private mortgage insurance for an investment property.
Wow,
no insurance.
15% down.
So 15% down. The rates are high. The PMI is high, but you can, if you have 15%. Now, if you're going through a traditional lender like a bank or a direct lender, a non-depository lender like a direct lender that only does mortgages, you're bringing most likely 25 to 30% down, especially if you're a first-time investor. And it has to be seasoned funds that you have to show for 2 months. The other options are you can turn it into a commercial investment if you're doing it under an LLC instead of your personal name, where you're probably better off going through I believe you're better off going through a commercial consultant, a commercial broker. They'll understand your overall situation, what you have as far as income, what the rent roll will be, what the debt service conversion ratio is, depending on, if you're making a profit, and they'll know where to place you, what bank, or should you go to crowdfunding. Crowdfunding for investment properties is now popular, and there's more websites coming up. Basically, it's a bunch of investors on this website that will take on the risk, where you might not have to have it seasoned. You might not even have to show that you have the money, as long as you definitely can bring it to the table at the closing. Even if it's borrowed funds, or they're even willing to have the sellers do a second mortgage to lighten the load on the down payment, which is typically 30 to 40% when you're getting into commercial. So I highly recommend. I have a bunch of friends that do commercial business only, that work at banks, that are even just brokers that work independently. So if you're interested in getting into some sort of commercial property or investment property, give me a call. Once I understand your overall profile, your credit, your income, what the rent roll will be, if it's a positive income of passive income, I'll know where to place you or who to call.
So, John, one of the biggest challenges out there, aside from a very low inventory for investors, is the financing. And they could go to a private lender and, for like a flip type of thing, or for a property they want to hold for a short-term time, and they could go ahead and they could get a 12 to 14% mortgage.
Interest only.
Yeah, interest only.
For 6 months to 12 months. That's hard money. And use that for fix and flip only. So many people want to use hard money because it's easy to get. There's plenty of hard money lenders out there, especially in Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
And as long as you have an exit strategy, go for it. But
Absolutely.
if you don't have an exit strategy, you have to buy it with a hard money loan. They'll take your property if you don't pay them.
What? Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's what they're in the business for.
Now, are you familiar? I'm sure you are, but is there any programs out there that allow wraparound mortgages?
Well, yes, there's blanket mortgages out there that you can put different properties in there, wrap around. Sure, you can. Not with us. We're strictly, any direct lender or bank usually is strictly Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac on the conventional side for investment property. That's it. That's all we have access to. And then anything else, bridge loans, blanket loans, wrap around, anything you're thinking of there do exist. It's just, where do you go? That's why you should hook yourself up with a commercial broker.
Yeah.
Because they know what states require this. Some banks won't touch, barbershops. Some banks won't touch a deli. They know where to go. Whatever you have, a mixed use property. Sometimes if it's more than 25% commercial, you have no choice but to go to a commercial lender. And why waste your months trying to purchase this property when you can go to a broker and he'll know exactly where to place you.
Do your homework up front. That's the biggest thing that we want to get across during this show is do your homework up front. Real estate is a pretty big deal. A lot of money involved. Your life is, and the way you live is at stake with every large investment that you make. Your family's life is at, everything.